Hello and welcome to the 30th edition of Half Hour, a podcast starring me, John Paulo Giudice, as your host. In today's episode, I'll discuss 21st century business and technology with my friend Kian Krauß. Thank you for coming on the show, dude. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime, man. I know we've been trying to get you on here for a while. I always try and get my friends on this podcast, so I'm glad you're finally here. Just to start off for a little bit, just tell us a bit about yourself, about like your education, maybe where you're from, what you're doing with your life.
Okay. Well, I'm Kian Krauß, Krauß basically. I'm 25 years old. I currently live in Prague. I studied international management in Germany, but came here to Prague for my study abroad semester, actually to UNIP, great university, by the way. I fell in love with Prague, so I stayed. I came back. What I do right now is I work for a subsidiary of Volkswagen Group. We are basically the special unit for any digital solutions, Volkswagen or any Volkswagen Group. Brands are requiring, and also others, obviously, but that is mainly our focus, and I love it. I can work remotely from everywhere in the world. I can use my knowledge I gathered through my university or for my studies, and on the other side, I am...
Can you do this real quick? If that's okay. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Just to kind of build on that, so you work for Volkswagen?
No, I work for Diconium.
What?
Diconium. Diconium is a company that was, back in the days, very famous for their solutions in e-commerce.
Okay.
So we make very, very, very efficient solutions, very nice usability for the clients. And it works very well. So in 2009, Volkswagen Group purchased us.
Okay.
And so that's why we're part of it.
So this company deals with client transactions. It can be as small or as big as possible. For example, maybe their code is in Amazon store. Maybe, I'm just saying as an example. And then even some small little shop that they sell little things and...
So basically we can do anything. I always say digital solutions or transformation, because we have a few entities. We have 4 entities. Mm-hmm. First entity is the strategy. That comes first. If you think about transforming your business into a digital business, or let's say a nice need which everyone would understand, is a company wants to offer their employees to work remotely, right? A solution for being able to work remotely. And then we sit together, have a workshop, figure out the vision and the mission, and what is possible, what is the goal, what is the growth goal of the company, what is the budget and stuff, to really shape a nice package the client likes. The client feels very comfortable with developing with that for the next couple of years. That is a strategy. And then we have the heart, the architecture,
right.
The real IT deep dive where I work in. This is the architecture of how you are able to work in this environment, right? Digital environment. And then later on, you want to also track what the data says, right? So you want to figure out what is this telling me? What is those huge ass numbers telling me in the end? That is the data, takes care of that. And then we also have, obviously because of Volkswagen and our expertise back in the days also, a huge firm for just cars. So we do, for example, all the necessary IT infrastructure in a car, right? So the steering wheel has, for example, I'm not sure how many, to be honest, in detail, but it's 160 different components in the steering, in the wheel.
Just in the wheel.
Yeah.
And so you're saying that the computer technology in these cars when you say infrastructure, meaning like the software, or do you mean the
software,
hardware?
yes.
Okay,
but also hardware. So for example, we test it also.
Okay.
So it's like we do literally everything connected to those topics.
Do Volkswagens have like touch screens in the car?
Yeah, they even have like a shop inside the car. So
that's
you
interesting.
can get onto a shop inside the car and buy things.
So let's say you need a new headlight.
Yeah.
You can get in your car, turn on the car, and then go in there and buy a headlight to be shipped to your door? Or is it another
It's
step?
more about functionalities. But I'm actually not very aware of that. I'm not... like my part of my work is selling the packages. Well, basically I'm pre-sales.
Okay.
That means I figure out the real need, right? I figure out the need together with the client. I figure out what client could be interested, what are the trends on the market, and then I figure out like who would fit the best for this project. Because people are also different, right?
Yeah.
So you have to put the right people for the right project, not only connected to their CV and all the expertise and experience, also their personality has to suit the client, right?
Yeah.
So that has to be done, and then there are like some internal processes I'm also taking care of, and then we pitch it.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And they basically also enabled me to further develop in a specific direction. So what I'm doing right now is I'm a founder of a community in Prague.
Okay.
It's called NFT Prague. It's about NFTs, if you've heard about them, like non-fungible tokens.
Right.
That is a product of Web3, like a product of this new metaverse and all that world.
Okay, so if we shift gears a little bit into your NFT, so you founded this group.
Yes, I'm a co-founder. My partner is currently in Mexico, but
Okay.
that's not a problem because we work digitally as well.
I would expect nothing less, of the digital 21st century, right? But so for someone like me, right? When I hear the word NFT, non-fungible token,
True.
I understand the premise. I think you have a picture, and this picture, it doesn't always have to be a picture, right?
That's true. Yeah.
It can be anything,
It can be anything.
even a file.
It's a data set basically.
Okay.
I also call it. I always call it data set. I never call it.
Let's
picture.
use the word data set then.
Nice.
It's a data set that's unique
That's unique. Yes.
and that someone owns.
Someone owns. Yes.
Where I don't understand, this is where I don't understand. It's like I've seen the apes on Instagram, like these things, right?
Yeah.
So someone owns that. They
Yes.
own it. But what's stopping me from taking a screenshot? You know what I'm trying? Like I have a screenshot of it, don't I own it?
What is the screenshot telling you? That you took a screenshot of a picture. That's right. So you can like print it and use it for yourself. If you
Right.
want to use it for a commercial reason, you don't have the rights to do it, right?
Only that person who owns it
Owns the right of the picture.
Gotcha.
So it's like a marketing kind of approach, right?
Okay.
So you sell basically with the NFT the rights of something. Right? So let's give you an example how I use NFTs.
Okay.
Right? So I also founded this company Cozy. That is like my heart project.
Okay.
I want to start building my dream. My dream is basically to end up the last chapter of my life will be at the ocean. I need to dive. I need to be able to dive every day. I don't have to dive every day, but
I didn't know you were so big into diving. This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
My uncle is a huge diver. He does it a lot.
Yeah?
I think he didn't do it recently for some reason, but he was planning, or he went. I have to ask him. He went to Antarctica.
Wow.
And dived there.
What?
So he was really excited about it.
Wow, that's
or like
crazy.
He went in the Antarctic waters or something. I think he's done the Great Barrier Reef, like in Australia.
Yeah, I
like
want
he's
to do
done-
that. Yeah.
But I didn't know that about you. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
If you want, I can. I'll ask my uncle a bit about it.
Yeah, about like good
This
spots.
is the same
good
guy
spots,
who climbed
yeah.
Mount Everest. You know?
I always
But he didn't-
collect spots in my Google. What's it called? The playlist kind of, right? Like in Google Maps, you have like a specific playlist. I have the playlist for some spots where we're diving.
You got some locations there.
Yeah.
This is the same uncle who climbed Mount Everest, but he didn't get to the top. He did like base camp 1 or 2. I forget which one.
Wow, he probably has like nice stories to tell.
Yeah, of course. He did Kilimanjaro in Africa.
Huh?
It's
Oh.
That's one I want to do because he said it's very doable for
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah.
above average people in the sense that they've done hiking and they're
Yeah.
willing to be up there for like 3 or 4 days. You know?
Yeah.
So that's something I might want to do someday.
Yeah, that's cool.
But-
Yeah, you're very obsessed with hiking, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Love hiking.
Yeah, you're a great guy there, actually.
All right, so if we
Yeah.
drift back to the NFT, right? Okay, so a little break there. It's good.
Yeah,
So-
well, basically, yeah, my goal is to dive in the end of my life, right?
Okay,
And to be able
right.
to dive, but I'm very ambitious, right? So
You need money to do that.
no, it's like that's actually you can like have your own diving shop at the ocean. That's fine. That doesn't require that much money, but I require a lot, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like I'm very
Yeah.
ambitious, so my goal is basically to have that. I know that's my need, right? So you always have to distinguish need, goal, or like nice to have, one, right?
Yep. Okay.
So that is my need. I put on my need
okay.
my my standard, what I want to achieve in life.
Gotcha.
Which is I want to give back. I want to create ecosystems in the water. I want to take care of the animals in the water. I want to like make them like healthy again, right? And
Keep the
create
oceans
them.
healthy.
Keep the oceans healthy and create a nice environment in the ocean for them.
Have you heard of the company 4Ocean?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. Is that from 4Ocean? No, it's Ocean Water.
I think that would be an excellent company for you to study a little more. You know,
Oh, I know a lot
I'm
of-
sure. Yeah, I'm sure. I was
Yeah.
going to say I'm not saying you don't know anything about it. I'm saying I think that
That's a
this
great
is a
suggestion.
company that is my brother has a bracelet from them because
Yes.
for every bracelet you buy, they do some ocean cleanup.
Yes.
But there's a lot of microplastics in the ocean.
Yeah.
And I guess kind of a question I'm trying to develop is how do you make a business model out of that in the sense
that's a great
where it's
question.
like it's not profitable to take the plastic out of the ocean. It's more profitable to like manufacture it as cheaply as possible. But my point here is like if you can get people to understand that you're cleaning out the ocean and it makes it worth it for them to then buy the plastic, like companies to buy this kind of plastic.
Yeah, I love your thinking there, to be
You know
honest.
what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Because the thing is, that's why we are there now. Like, I have a team of 6 wonderful people, who that started like 6 months ago with Will in Canada. I met this guy actually in Australia, where we planned to go to the Great Barrier Reef. It didn't happen because of some other reasons, but it doesn't matter. And
Someday you'll
we
get
wanted
there.
to, yeah. It's still on the bucket list. So that guy, and me, we were talking. Oh yeah, we have to do something great in the future. So that was back 4 years ago, and 6 months ago I reached out to him. Was like, hey, what are you doing? Stuff like that. He's a surfer, right? So he's also very obsessed with the ocean. He's always in the
Does
ocean.
he live in Australia or he's in Canada?
No, he's in Canada.
Okay.
Right now he's in Vancouver, I guess, but he just moved there recently. So he's from British Columbia.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah, super nice. And so we developed this idea because I think I was sharing like some videos about the plastic pollution and stuff where I got like very angry at, and he was like reacting on that like, hey, we have to like, oh, that's so cool. Do you know anything about that? And we started chatting about it, and then we jumped in and we realized, okay, we have to do something. We have to do something about this problem, right? Like, there's no way that we are not like moving. We're not like doing anything. We are able to do that. We have the capability, we have the time, we have like we want to do that. We have the ambition to do that. We
To
have
help the ocean.
Passion. Yes, we have a specific reason in our heart that drives us to do that, to
You're
change
right.
something in there.
Right.
So our approach is we want to get the plastic out of the ocean. Not we want to, we will. We are doing that basically, yeah.
Yeah.
We get the plastic out of the ocean, transform it into a plastic bag. Not a plastic bag as a plastic bag you get from Billa or something like that, like a supermarket. A plastic-based tote bag, right?
Okay.
With a specific design on it. And that's how we want to get the plastic out, recycle it, and give it a purpose again. So we want to give it to people to.
No, it's smart. And I would just to interrupt for a second. At UNIP, with the marketing department, they make a lot of these bags that you see people walking around Prague with, and it has the UNIP logo.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is like that's them marketing their college.
Yeah.
You could market this whatever this business is by maybe having these bags and whatever name you choose. I don't know. Maybe you should reach out to this Four Ocean company. Maybe it's better to go and
we have very, very, very good partners right now already. Four Ocean is on our list to talk to, but Four Ocean is a huge player.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to like, if you want them like to be part of it, you have to like propose something really valuable to them.
Okay.
And they're already doing the same thing, right?
Yeah. So that's what I was getting at. Where it's
yes, but it doesn't matter. We are not competitors. In my opinion, we have a problem, and we all address the problem.
Yeah, it's a common issue. Yeah,
it's a movement.
Yeah.
That's what I like about that much. I don't see those big companies like Four Ocean like as competitors. I see them as friends that help us make that possible.
You know, the theme of this episode, 21st century business.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking about how what you're describing. A lot of companies operate this way, especially in the modern day, where it's like there are some companies where it's cutthroat, like Samsung and Apple. Okay, they're fighting over the U.S. smartphone market constantly. Whereas, you know, Four Ocean and maybe something that you come up with, there's a common goal in there. Yep. Whereas with Apple and Samsung, there's no common goal.
Yes, there's a common goal to get the market. Get the market on their
But they're not willing to work together for that.
Of course not. Of course not.
That's where the difference lies.
Yeah, that's the definition competitor, because they want to reach the same goal, which is limited. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, the goal of getting the oceans clean is not limited yet. Mm-hmm. So if there's like, just let's say to have a picture of it, if there's just 10 tons of plastic or like 100 or 1 million tons of plastic in the water, then it might be a kind of competition to get the material, right? Mm. But still it wouldn't be like that. For everyone it would be a huge success. And yeah, the thing is, if we get the plastic out of the ocean, just getting the plastic out of the ocean, then what happens with it? It lays on...
It's on an
island. It's on the beaches. It's on an island.
The Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
Yes, this is so insane.
Yeah, it's the size of France, or maybe more than France, just in the ocean. Yeah, it's crazy. It's really sad.
It's terrible. Yeah, but what that was probably the start of this entire journey. My mind, at least, I think.
Like you read about that first, kind of, or
no? I tell you shortly. I went to the Philippines.
Okay.
I had like a backpacking trip there for 1 month. Yeah. And we went with those taxis. It's like actually bikes. We went with those to the harbor.
Oh, right? Like just someone pedaling the bike, and
Okay, and it has like a like wooden thing where you sit, and it was super interesting. Mm-hmm. And we went to the harbor with that guy, and then we had to get off at the gate, right? So we had to walk for like 100-200 meters, not a lot, right? Mm-hmm. But what we saw on that path was like we looked left, and there was a huge mountain of plastic, and people were living on it, right?
Oh my God!
They were living on it, burning the plastic, literally. Right? Because they thought, oh, okay, that's how we get rid of it. They're not getting rid of it by burning it. Just going up. Yeah. And then that's the problem.
Health problems too.
No, it's health problems, but also it's the knowledge about it. Mm-hmm. Those people don't know about it. And in my opinion, to get them together, to be able to pay them some money to get the plastic out, would fulfill them with joy.
Yeah.
And would give them like a reason.
So I guess what we're getting to is like we need to incentivize the West to kind of act on this regard, you know. And I know that we need to get other countries involved. This issue always goes back to climate change. Like it's in a similar vein because there are countries that just do not care. Like as an example, in one of my international relations class, we talk about how Russia is profiting from the Earth getting warmer. Because that means that more of their northern land in Siberia is becoming habitable, and they just don't care. So
because they don't understand that it also opens up like some I don't know how to call that, like what's the right name of it, but it opens like new diseases. They're like scientists about that because they were like literally in the skies.
Because it's melting the permafrost.
Yeah, permafrost. Yeah, it's about the permafrost. Yeah.
And I'm not even saying it's the people. I know that you can't blame people for their government's actions. You know, you can't do that.
Yeah.
But it's the government that clearly they don't care about this order that we're trying to build. Their government is invading another country, They do not care about this. And
Yeah.
throwing it back a little more, when I was 12 years old, I was in my 7th grade history class, and my teacher put on a documentary about this guy. He's from the U.S. This younger black dude. He flies to Iraq, and he does like interviews with random people, and he's walking people who speak English. Sometimes not. He has like a translator with him.
Okay.
So he found this Iraqi family, and they're running the generator like in the corner of the house, like near a window, but it's not
Okay.
It's not good,
No.
And he's asking him, he's like, "Sir, like, don't you understand that this is harming the environment?" And the man just looks at him, and he's like, "Well, it's either this or like my family freezes to death, or my family doesn't have electricity." And I think there was a little bit of like, your country bombed us to smithereens because now we have to do this. So it's kind of, I was kind of sitting there watching this at 12 years old, having this kind of thought where I'm like, when it's like you and the elements and it's like right there, people don't care,
Yeah.
But the thing is, that's what you were saying when they were burning the plastic. It's a similar scenario.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because in a lot of countries, they buy Western trash. Literally, like
of course,
in Africa, there's huge depots of trash burning. So it's kind of like
I actually have a friend who's not a fan of recycling trash because he strongly believes that it comes all back to one boat that goes.
I get that though. Like I'm not telling you he's right, but I am saying I understand. Like even here, it's like they have in where we live, right? Where I live in this building, we have different barrels with different colors on top to denote what you're supposed to put it in.
Yeah.
But then you throw it in the dumpster downstairs, and it just goes in the dumpster. It's not being separated.
Yeah, that's
so. It's kind of like it's very small scale. I think a lot. It's very like local.
The thing is, in my opinion, the government is like telling us to do it, right? If someone tells you to do things, you're not very motivated to do a thing compared to if you realize, oh, I want to do that. If you want to do it, then it's intrinsically motivated, right?
Right.
If it's extrinsically motivated, then the motivation is not sustainable.
Right, and again, like this business model we're living in, companies are incentivized to ship their garbage to countries that are in the third world because their laws are not. They don't care. In the U.S., we have zoning laws. Like you can't put trash in certain places. There are landfills. Like there's one. I could drive to a landfill within 15 minutes from my house, but it's very neat. You don't know it's there. It's covered by a nice grassy hill. Yeah. But there's garbage under there, and it's like, it makes you think about how we need to kind of, I'll tell you this, dude, it's very 20th century, the way we talk about garbage these days. It's still very 20th century, And I think it's this generation of young people, and the millennials too, that need to kind of figure this stuff out for the 21st century model. Like, how is it going to win? And I think what you're saying with this dream you have with your friend, I think that's part of the solution,
It's part of it, yes. It's a baby step. So we will develop further. So it's not like that we want to stick with bags. Basically what we want to do is like we want to dive and get the trash out. We want to make that happen. Cozy really wants to make that happen, right?
Yeah, and a lot of it's big trash, right? So like this garbage patch, you can see it. Like you can go and get a scooper and get it and then put it somewhere else. Yeah. But there's a lot of microplastics, a lot of tiny little microscopic pieces of plastic that we can't. And what's sad is that there are so many other alternative materials that are more biodegradable that
I've heard this.
It's like next gen plastic is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And dude, this problem exists in space too. I'm writing my thesis about how countries can collaborate in space, and there are tiny little fragments.
You should definitely look up helium-3.
Yep. Yeah, helium-3. That's on the moon.
Yeah.
So that's gonna go in my. That's all these things are gonna get wrapped in there, but.
Yeah, that's cool. I want to read it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely share it. Who knows? Maybe I'll even publish it. I don't know.
You should.
That'd be pretty cool. But. This is a monumental issue, like this is not something that I think we're going to solve in the short term.
No.
Unless there is a political movement among people to really focus on this, like
Yeah.
to really be like, hey, we really need to take care of the environment. And before you jump in,
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
to say, climate change. I will say, as someone who looks at things very like I'm trying to be non-biased, there are things where I disagree with the left, I disagree with the right. There are certain things that climate change is like, okay, it's not changing this quickly. But when we're talking about environmental like pollution, there's no disagreement there. It's happening. Like you can see it. It's
You can
in front of
literally
you.
see it.
Whereas
yes.
climate change, the earth is warming. I understand that, but this is very much in front of us, And then you and I are going to end this podcast and we're going to throw something away and feel terrible,
Wow.
But this is my whole point where it's like, think about all the little plastic bags you throw in the barrel and then where does that go? And you don't see it.
Or
it's
if you buy something in the supermarket, they're like super insane approaches in France. What I've seen. So for example, there are oranges in plastic, bananas in plastic. The natural gave it like the like something to cover the inside, and we cover it again with our plastic.
Yeah, okay, I see what you're
That's
saying.
like
And for me, it's like I know for a fact that the plastic we use is the very cheapest way to wrap something the most efficiently, right? But the thing is that we could spend a little bit more, the companies that make the plastic could spend a little bit more money to create something that's biodegradable.
Yeah.
And this problem would kind of more naturally escape. And all we need to do is clean up the current. But I will say that the wastefulness and the blatant disregard for the planet that our parents' generation and then their parents had, and then their parents were killing each other across the world, because of the world wars and all these things.
Yeah.
It just shows you how far we've come, but how far we need to go in this kind of business model.
Yeah.
Like. Because you're incentivized to send your trash to a third world country. It's just, that's the way it is. I bet you all that trash in the
they are
Philippines comes
incentivized to
from
buy
us.
it. They are incentivized to buy it because they get it offered for a huge amount of money for them, and then they're not aware of that it's a problem, literally.
And there's a lack of education.
Lack of education, yes.
I watched a very interesting little documentary on YouTube of this man. He went to a slum in Nigeria, and it's at the terminus of a river in the Gulf of Guinea in the Atlantic Ocean. And you see these young boys, they dive into the water of fecal matter of 20 million people upstream, because they just dump all their excess in the river and it goes into the ocean, right? But my whole point here is that these boys are diving into this really gross water. You and I would die from the diseases that are in there, but they've just been around them their whole life, so they don't have a problem. They go in and they get paid cents on the dollar in American money. I guess the euro works too here. They get paid cents on the dollar to get plastic and then sell it back to the companies that we're talking about, and they understand that they can exploit these kids' labor. So this problem is big and small. I feel like this is something that.
And to be honest, I strongly believe it's a problem we have in the 21st century, not just us as consumers. We have it as companies. Companies should definitely do something about it because they can. They have the power to do it.
Yeah, they do.
Also, governments have the power to do it, but not, as you said, for example, the incentivization, because in the end, they need to get rid of the problem. Easiest way, sell it.
Well, this is where I think leading by example, right? So the government should tell us that this is the right thing to do. Not force it. I don't think forcing it's the right thing, but tell us. And then these massive companies, right? They're the first ones to take this step. And then it gets down to small businesses. Because I've worked in small businesses. I know how wasteful things can be.
But do you know, have you heard about the SDGs? Everyone has heard about them, these SDGs, right? The European SDGs. Yeah, like the goals that come from sustainability goals for...
So the EU has sustainability goals?
Yes. They are... not very realistic, to be honest, but it's the right way to go.
Yeah.
If a company gets a fine for not doing anything CSR related, so corporate social responsibility related, then they get fined. And in my opinion, that's the only way to incentivize those companies that are producing the pollution, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise you don't create awareness about it. It's not even about raising awareness, it's about creating the education about it.
Yeah.
I think they're going in the right direction, but like maybe the implementation has its hurdles. But yeah.
Well, I usually don't do this, but do you see the blinking light there?
Oh yeah.
That means this thing's about to die. So I don't know if you have anything quick you want to say. We're at the 30-minute mark. Closing thoughts?
I'd love you guys to check out Cozy. I'd love to hear about your ideas about it. Maybe you have like some tips and tricks how we can like scale it even better, grow better.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to participate in a cleanup mission, let me know. If you want to jump on the pre-sale or something like that, let me know. Anything related to that, or any other ideas of CSR related projects, maybe some cool new ideas. So for example, there's this new fertilizer thing for the ocean that cleans it and creates ecosystem stuff. This is super cool.
Yeah.
Right? Like, things like that, I'm super interested about that. I would love to hear that. And I appreciate your time. And thanks for having me again.
Thank you for coming on the show. I think this has been a good talk. And
yeah, it was great.
Appreciate it.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.